Hey there, and welcome to the Contentment Creator Podcast, the podcast designed especially for creative entrepreneurs just like you who are committed to a beautiful life that's rooted in courage and contentment, and that's blooming with creativity and prosperity. I'm your host, Ellen Broen, a certified life coach, a singer, a mother, and a lover of alliteration, dogs, and deep conversation. This podcast is designed to become a part of your daily routine to help you, fellow contentment creator, dig deep to clarify your life vision, catalyze your creative flow, and fuel your entrepreneurial fire in just a few inspiring minutes each day. Each episode will focus on how it truly is possible for you to be and have all that you desire through leveraging creative and courageous perspectives and practices. Please follow and rate this show on whatever podcast app you listen on so you never miss a day, and join me in my mission to help a world full of content creators become a world of contentment creators. Each Friday, we will talk about CEO care, and today's episode is all about burnout. If you're feeling like you're towing the line or well past the point of no return of burnout, then this episode is for you, my friend. I'll be honest, it may suck before it gets better. But the only way out is through, and slowing things down to reflect will make this go faster, I promise. And if you've been there but have managed to find your way back, welcome home to yourself. Congratulations on navigating a very hard road that nearly every successful entrepreneur faces, and making it to the other side. Burnout robs the world of so many bright lights and innovative businesses that it is a personal mission of mine to help fellow creators through this and find their light again, but even brighter than before. Some things I say in this episode might be frustrating or even downright upsetting to take in. I get it. They aren't things anyone wants to hear, but it's because of how hard they are to be with. That's exactly why it's so important to talk about. So I'll just come out and say it. Burnout isn't just about being tired or overwhelmed. It's about self-abandonment. Oops, right? You might be nodding right now, or you might be among the many who hear that and feel like I punched you in the stomach. And unfortunately, some of you nodding might even be some of the people on their path to burnout right now and don't even realize it. Hopefully, I'm able to speak to you where you are, wherever you are in the path, and leave you with some wisdom today. You see, we talk a lot about courage on this podcast. Feeling fear and doing it anyway, that's courage. That's where growth lives. But feeling like your heart, gut, or spirit says no, even if your mind says, yeah, that makes sense, and doing it anyway, that's self-abandonment. The irritating thing about this lesson in entrepreneurship is that most of us will probably just have to learn it the hard way. I know I did. Even as a new life coach, I drank up the narrative, if I can, I should, like it was water in the desert. I thought it was coming from possibility-based thinking. I thought I was doing what the 99% wouldn't do and coming out with the results that the 99% wouldn't have. I thought that riding other people's excitement and encouragement and mentorship would lead me towards the horizon of my potential. I wasn't wrong, but I also wasn't right. Because in following that path, I learned a ton about how brave and capable I am, and how much possibility I truly do believe in. I gained self-awareness that I couldn't have learned until I walked the path and realized that it was taking me further away from what I actually wanted. And I've done it multiple times. That's how stubborn I am. But here I am, having lived to tell the tale, with a business more aligned than it has ever been. That's not to say this is the most money I've ever earned or the most dopamine I've ever gotten out of my business. But I am more content, and my business is a big part of that. A mentor of mine told me repeatedly, sometimes we have to go out in order to come back. That might be you. Maybe you have this nagging itch to see if you can achieve this goal or build this thing, and you'll regret it for not giving it your all. I see you and I totally get you. Or maybe you're on your way back from getting very, very lost and don't know where to go from here. I also see you and totally get you. Either way, the tools I have to share are the same. Number 1, look into somatic work. That's just a fancy way of saying develop your mind-body connection. We all have work to do in understanding what our body is telling us. The body is never wrong. It knows and needs things that our mind isn't in charge of and can't control. If our health and energy is poor, our body is telling us something. It's our responsibility to listen and do something about it. As a concrete practice to consider, ask yourself this question. What is the difference for me between the discomfort my body feels when I'm afraid and the discomfort my body feels when I'm going off course? Number 2, slow down to speed up. Right now, you are captaining a ship towards the horizon of your dreams. When we feel a sense of urgency to get there, or our egos take over and believe faster is better, we will 100% end up course correcting one way or another. It's up to you whether it's a 1% shift now while you slow down and assess, or a 70% left turn that has you backtracking because you are so far off target, you didn't notice because you've been so focused on keeping the ship moving at a clip. Number 3, we talk a lot about alignment because we don't just make decisions with our heads. We seek to align our heads with our heart, our gut, our body, and our spirit. When these 4 are in agreement with the path forward, that means our choice is clear. When there's disagreement, however, that's when things get tricky. Maybe our heart and our spirit want one thing, but our body is not able to sustain that path. Or maybe our head and our gut are at odds, where one path makes more sense than the other, but our gut is calling us the other way. We must weigh the input of our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual bodies in decisions, and go in knowing what costs and gains we stand to wager. This is only just the beginning of this conversation and practice for us here as contentment creators, so I hope you take this bite-sized morsel and chew on it for yourself. At the end of the day, success isn't worth it if we lose ourselves getting there. So slow it down, breathe deep, and discern the path where your heart, soul, and body all say, "This is me." Tune in next episode to get a bit more personal as I explore mindfulness in marriage. If you enjoyed today's episode, please show your support by rating and reviewing in your app of choice. It would mean the world to me to hear from you.